Hey guys, this is Dan Sobrano, and today I'm going to go over dragging your feet versus stepping with your feet. So stay tuned. Alright, so what I want to talk about today is a lot of times when you're fighting, you get that ring style fighting type footwork, which is step drag, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're in the street and you're fighting close quarter, majority of the time that's how it's going to be, you need to do it a little bit different than what you would do it in the ring. Because in the ring you're doing one-on-one, but in the street it could be more than one, and this other guy could have a weapon. There's a lot of different variables that can happen in the street versus in the ring, okay? So, I'm not saying again that there's nothing wrong with a step drag. There's a time to do it and a time not to do it, okay? So in the next segment, we're going to go over how to do it properly and what not to do. Alright, so what I want to go over here is the typical way of doing it is step drag, step drag. Turn around here, step drag, step drag. The problem arises when you're doing that at close quarter, guys, is it takes time for the drag to catch up with the stepping leg. Okay, the dragging leg takes a little bit longer, slows it down a little bit, because you're dragging it, obviously the friction on the ground. If you're out in the street, it's going to drag a lot more than if you're on a smooth, slick surface like I am right now. So it's going to be a little bit harder to do. And the thing is, when you're striking somebody, okay, the front leg, yeah, you're there, boom, you're striking the guy. But you have to wait for that drag of the foot to get underneath your hips to be able to throw a powerful punch with the rear hand. And again, if you're fighting, left hand, right hand, rear hand is your power hand. You cannot throw power with your leg way out here. There's no power. You have to wait till it gets underneath your hips to be able to get that power going, okay? So it takes time, and by the time your leg gets there, that guy might be moving or he might be countering you before you can even throw that strike. And if you do throw that strike, it's not going to be as powerful because you've got to wait for the drag to get underneath your legs, okay? So when you're fighting at close range, you don't have the time to be waiting for your foot to catch up to the rest of your body to be able to throw a powerful strike. So take that into account the next time you're step dragging, okay? And watch yourself, and again, get a partner, have them hold pads, and strike the pad after you step, and as you're dragging, try to strike that guy in the pad. Just try to hit it and see how hard you're going to be able to hit as your foot's dragging versus what I'm going to show you in the next segment, which is going to make it more powerful. Alright, so this is how I want you guys to do it, okay? Especially for fighting in the street. What you're going to do is you're going to step, step, okay? So you're going to step, 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 step. And the reason why, when you're close quarter, when you're fighting, you got to be quick. So once you hit, boom, 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 you need to have that foot right underneath your hips to be able to generate the power from the ground into your strike with the rear hand. In order for you to get that power, also to be able to hit the guy while he's in that open in that moment of time. Okay, you don't have that much time, so you better be able to hit right there when you can. Okay, so you can't wait for the drag to get there and be able to set you up for that punch because it'll be too late. So what you want to do is you step. Basically, the drill is step, step, right? Step, 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 step. Now, when I step with the rear leg, okay, I'm stepping with the full ball of the foot, not the top, like on the ball, with the toes, but the bottom, like the lower part of your ball of your foot. I'm trying to step, step. That way I can get more power and drive off my leg when I'm going to throw my next punch. Okay, so I'm going to be here. Okay, it's step, 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 step. See, boom, boom. And the thing about it is, once you step, you can strike hard, and you're there. You're all there. You're in balance, and you can step and shift and change and strike the other way. You can't do that while you're sliding. It just takes too much time, okay? The only time I would advise you to slide, okay, is when you're further away from the opponent and you're just, what I usually call it is stalking footwork. I'm just stalking, just sliding, getting closer and closer to my opponent before I start stepping, okay? Once I'm in range, once I can touch them, okay, and he can touch me, that's when I go into my step-step type footwork. So again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with step slide, okay, or step drag, but there's a time for it and a time not for it, okay? When you're fighting close, that's a time to let go of that way of footwork, doing that footwork, and going to the step-step type of footwork, okay? So it's very advantageous for you to be able to change the different types of footwork patterns, okay? So in the next segment, I'm going to go over how to make it more powerful with the stepping. All right, guys. Now, in this segment, what I'm going to show you is the more powerful way of stepping, and we call it drop stepping, okay? So that's where you drop your weight as you step. So as you step, you drop your weight. Why would you do that? Because as you step and drop your weight into your step, the majority of your weight comes forward towards that area, whichever way you're going, okay? Puts more power behind your strikes. In close quarter, you want to be able to do that and generate the maximum amount of force without having to start swinging and trying to develop that force with your limbs. Better to use your full body to be able to do that. The way you can get that is by drop stepping. Drop, drop, okay? So when you're stepping, right, you drop your weight forward and drive into your opponent, okay? At close quarter, you want to take maximum amount of real estate from him and make him lose less and less. You just got to keep driving, attack, attack, attack to take out your enemy, okay? So that's what you want to do. You don't want to go that back and forth stuff, you know. I hit him, he hits me, patty cake, like, you don't want to do that. You want to be overwhelming and take him out as quickly as possible, okay? So the best way to do that is by driving and stepping with your power into the opponent and take his ground and take everything that he has and take him out, okay? So you can't get that when you're dragging. There's no way. It doesn't work, okay? It takes, and if you do it, are able to produce a little bit of that, it's not as powerful as the drop stepping and driving into the opponent, okay? So practice doing that on Thigh pads, on the bag, to stand next to the bag if you're by yourself. Get your hands up and use whatever technique you'd like and drive into that bag, step, drop step, okay? And you'll find that you're going to be able to produce more power because you're using your full weight in motion, and that's the secret behind being able to develop that power without having to use that much muscle in your body. It won't tire you out as much either, okay? So try that and see what you see. All right, what I wanted to show you is, especially for street, when you're doing the drop step, what's really good to do is to stomp. As you drop step, you stomp the ground. Stomping the ground gives you that benefit of grabbing that ground quickly and very aggressively, and so that way you won't fall down and you'll be planted into the ground as you're driving into your opponent, okay? There's nothing worse than just lightly stepping and you're off balance, or you hit the guy and you bounce off and you fall down because you're off balance, okay? You want your full weight to drive and get stuck in the ground to be able to take off the guy, okay? So that's the kind of footwork you want with the stomp. Now, with the rear foot, what you want to do is you want to also drop step, and like I said, you want the full ball of the foot to hit the ground and drop your weight, okay? So stomp, drop, okay? It's stomp, drop. The reason why you drop like that is because you want the full power of the rear hand to be able to explode and to drive into your opponent, okay? It'll give you more solid striking ability because your full body's in motion and there's no wasted effort. You're just attacking. As you get quicker and quicker, that drop step with the rear becomes faster and faster, and before you know it, it's easy to move around and strike somebody, okay? And just take them out with a real powerful shot without even trying. It'll just happen. Even if you don't hit him, you can also hit him with your shoulders, because you're dropping your weight down and you're going to be able to attack the guy, okay? It works really well for close quarter fighting, and I would highly suggest that you train this and learn how to do it so that way you'll be a more powerful fighter. Okay, now I want you guys to as you do these drills with your partners, or even by yourself if you have just a heavy bag, whatever, or even if you just don't have anything, you can still practice it by doing any kind of technique you would like with the steps and learning how to drive in shadowing, okay? It works really well. It doesn't take very much effort or time to do this. I mean, you can do it when you're doing your footwork, when you first start training, when you're doing your training, 5 minutes, that's all it takes. It doesn't take very long. And as you start moving and start driving and stepping and dropping, it works really well. And it's going to give you that ability to do it just without even thinking, okay? As long as you train it and rep it out, it'll start becoming part of your habit of doing stuff, okay? And you'll automatically drop stepping when you get close to in range to fight somebody, okay? Again, it's a good footwork pattern because in the street, if you get attacked by multiple opponents and you're on the balls of your feet, just only both, you're going to get knocked all over the place, okay? And it's going to be hard to get a good footing when they're smacking you back and forth and everywhere you move, you're getting hit. You need to be able to ground yourself in the ground and be able to produce power as effortless as you can so that it'll save you energy so that you'll be able to take up what you need to do to be able to escape. It's going to be kind of hard when you're on the balls of your foot bouncing around and they're going to be bouncing you around until they end up putting you on the ground, okay? So it's very beneficial for you to learn this type of footwork. Another thing that a lot of guys might think about and counter what I'm showing you here is that, well, what about if you're fast and you have good fast footwork? Well, the thing about this footwork here that I'm showing you is it's easy, very easy, to stop somebody from moving around so fast, okay? All you gotta do is step on his foot, With the stomp, that's what I'm gonna tell you guys to stomp on his foot. If you guys are kind of fast or he's attacking, trying to move around, you stomp on his foot, he ain't going nowhere, and you just can tee off on the guy, okay? It's not that hard to do. It's not illegal because it's a street fight, okay? Maybe in the UFC you can't do that or somebody in boxing, but in the street, anything goes. So step on his foot, push him, hit him, and stay on his foot when he falls because then he'll break his ankle and then he won't even chase you, okay? Works really well. So try that out. And again, for those guys that are, that you tell them, oh, they're too fast, step on the foot, hang on to them, grab them, and start hitting. I have another video that I made, shows you how to, use a cord or a strap on a heavy bag when you're punching it. Train yourself to do that, and you'll be grabbing the guy, and he ain't going to be going nowhere, okay? So who cares about speed? You'll be able to take care of that. Like they say, speed kills. It does for them, all right? So try these things out, and just train them with your partner, and go as real as you can, and as hard as you can, and you're going to see how this stuff works, and it's made to work, and it's been working, and it's always worked, okay? So try this out. Add it to your fighting skills, and you're going to be a better fighter for it. All right, guys, we come to the end of the video, and again, I just want to go over the footwork patterns. You got the regular step and drag, okay? You got the step and step, okay? Then you got a drop step, okay? Now, again, the time you use the step and drag is when you're further away from the individual so he can't hit you. It's like a stalking type footwork. You're getting closer and closer, moving in, and then he starts to strike, okay? And that's the best time to use that kind of footwork. Be careful, okay, of when you come into close quarter range to fight the guy, that you stay in that footwork because it's going to slow you down and it's going to root you more than you want to be when you're trying to move, okay? Now, the other footwork, drop, or just step hard, is good when you're fighting somebody at close range because you need to be able to move and be quick about it and have your legs under your hips to be able to generate power from the ground up, okay? If you're dragging your foot, it just takes too long to get that foot where it needs to be able to produce power with your rear hand, okay? And your rear hand is the power hand, right? So it's going to be a long time before you get that power in there. By that time, it'll be too late. He may counter you, he'll be out of the way, and you got to reassess and readjust yourself, okay? So it's to your advantage to be able to step. And the moment you're moving, you're able to hit off your move. And that's important when you're fighting in the street at close range. So again, be very careful of your footwork patterns, and remember, figure out why you're doing those footwork patterns for and what they're going to be for, okay? Because the way you train is the way you're going to react. So you need to add these into your fighting system. Take it outside and on the concrete, take it outside on the asphalt or wherever there's unsure grounding, and practice it, and you'll see that this footwork patterns that I'm showing you here is good for fighting for street, okay? And it also can be used in the ring. But that step and slide, it might not be so good out in the street. You got to be careful with that, all right? So try these out. Again, working with your partners and see and keep what works for you and just discard what doesn't, you know. You need to have confidence in what you're doing, and if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you're not going to do it, all right? So go over these things that I'm showing you and notice how the principles and the biomechanics and the concepts are going to work for you at all times, okay? And it doesn't matter whether you're a big guy, small guy, fast guy, slow guy. It works for everybody. And that's what I like about this technique. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be a female, male, young or old. It works all the time, okay? And that's what's important, because you just don't have no time to be figuring out what I need to do. You should be able to, you know, walk around and stomp. It's easy. You know, you do it all your life. You didn't realize that, so it'll be easy for you to pick up and to be able to generate that power when you need it, okay? So until next time, this is Daniel Sabano telling you, don't just hit them, punch a hole through them. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.